Hi, my name is Crystal Broussard, and this is a very short video on the importance of breakfast. I want to take a moment just to tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Crystal Broussard, and I am a physician that's board certified in both family medicine and obesity medicine. I became interested in weight loss medicine because I've actually lost a significant amount of weight myself. And as I was doing so, I started teaching my patients how to do the same, and I fell in love with that type of medicine. And for the first time, I was getting my patients off of their diabetes medicine, blood pressure medicine, instead of just continuing to put Band-Aids on the problem. In 2012, I opened Athena Wellness Center, that is in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of Houston, with an emphasis on weight management. And I am proud to say, since we opened our doors about 2.5 years ago, our patients have collectively lost over 17,000 pounds. I speak nationally to other physicians about obesity medicine and teach them how to actually take care of their patients and help their patients lose weight. I am a trustee on the American Society of Bariatric Physicians Executive Board and the author of a few ebooks, and I'm actually going to tell you about one in just a moment. So this slide just represents why I do what I do. And the picture on the top left is me 100 pounds ago. On the right, that's actually what I look like today. So it just shows you that I have had my own struggle with weight loss, and that, again, this is why I do what I do. So we've all heard it before that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What we actually know is that there is overwhelming evidence that breakfast affects our health and our wellness. It truly is the most important meal of the day. And if we eat breakfast or not, and what we eat for breakfast actually affects our hunger all day long. Now, I've heard this from my patients a lot. If I eat breakfast, I'm really hungry later. And I tell them I know exactly what they're eating. So from my experience, what you're usually eating if you're hungry, hungrier after breakfast, is the typical breakfast fare in America: donuts and bagels, cereal, instant oatmeal, waffles, pancakes, all of those refined carbs. And these refined carbs only satisfy your hunger for 2 to 3 hours, and then it actually causes more hunger and more irritability. The difference is a breakfast with protein. So what's the big deal about protein? How does it make a difference? This shows you a graph with the glucose, the blood sugar on the left, and the time at the bottom. And what it shows is if you eat a meal with bagels or waffles, refined carb, the things that we typically do for breakfast, your glucose is actually going to spike up faster. So you get that spiked effect and then drop down faster. So typically the sugar spikes within an hour, and within 2 hours to 3 hours, you're really hungry again with the blood sugar even lower than what it was before. The other curve is actually a protein-rich meal, and what you'll find is that the glucose is actually released into the bloodstream slower, it lasts longer, and you get a better effect on both your blood sugar and therefore hunger control. Now I'm going to take a moment just to walk you through a little bit of the science, what our studies have told us and taught us in the last 7 to 10 years about the importance of breakfast. We now know that those that skip breakfast eat more carbohydrates, they weigh more and have more unhealthy habits. They eat 40% more sweets, drink 55% more soft drinks, and eat 45% fewer vegetables and 30% less fruits. We know that people that skip breakfast exercise less, they have higher cholesterol, higher insulin, and larger waists. We know that the brain responds to high-calorie, high-fat food at lunch in the reward center of the brain if someone has skipped breakfast. And we also know that if you skip breakfast, men are 20% more likely to have diabetes type 2, and just eating breakfast alone reduces the risk of diabetes by 34%. So, what every study has proven is that what we eat for breakfast matters. We know that eating protein at breakfast makes us feel fuller during the day, all day. So, just take a moment to think about that. What you eat for breakfast and whether it has protein in it is going to affect your hunger all day long, even before you go to bed. We know based on studies that drinking fat-free milk because of the protein at breakfast actually causes patients to eat less at lunch. And in studies where patients either ate eggs or bagels for breakfast, those that ate eggs consumed 100 to 400 fewer calories at lunch, and they also lost 65% more weight than the patients that ate bagels for breakfast. Now, sadly, weight issues and obesity in America is not just affecting adults, it's also affecting our children at an alarming rate. And these are the things we know based on research about children and breakfast. We know that breakfast improves math skills, it reduces hyperactivity and absences, and tardy rates. We know that children that eat breakfast are less likely to become obese, that teens eat less later in the day if they've eaten breakfast. This is a crazy statistic to me. A preschooler will see, on average, 642 TV cereal ads about high sugar cereals. And guess what they're going for in the grocery store? They've been conditioned for this. We know that it is more likely for kids to eat breakfast if the parents eat breakfast as well, so we need to be role models for our children. So let's just summarize what we know so far. Breakfast really is the most important meal of the day. I usually recommend a specific number of calories and a specific number of grams of protein to my patients for breakfast. We know, again, based on research, the exact calorie count and the exact amount of protein that actually helps patients be the most successful at weight loss. I usually tell my patients, try different things. Your breakfast choice needs to be what gives you more energy and makes you feel fuller for longer. It also needs to fit in your lifestyle. So for a lot of people, that needs to be quick. So thinking outside the box, doesn't even have to be breakfast food. It can be shakes. You can cook eggs in the microwave in a minute. It can involve the family and preparation. Breakfast truly is the one choice that can make the biggest impact on our health and actually our life. Here are the other things we know. So now we know that we need to eat breakfast. And we know that it needs to have protein in it. And we also know that it needs to be had within an hour of getting up, because that will actually turn on your metabolism for the day. But my patients were asking, well, what does all that mean? And what are some examples of protein for breakfast? I spent a lot of time educating each new patient about protein. And I needed to give them more because most Americans have never focused on protein before. So this is what I did. I actually have compiled an ebook about the research and also examples and ideas for breakfast. So it is actually available on Amazon. It's the Quick and Easy Breakfast Ideas, Breakfast with Protein for Busy People on the Go. Here's a little bit about what's included in the ebook. Definitely a more in-depth discussion on all the science and research that supports protein. This was just barely skimming the surface of what we know about breakfast. It also talks about those exact numbers for how much protein we need to accelerate weight loss. I also give you my 16 down and dirty breakfast ideas. So these are actually the things that I give my patients. These are the 16 ideas for breakfast that are simple and quick and have exactly the amount of protein that has been proven in studies to help with weight loss. Now, I always tell people this is not a gourmet cookbook. This is about fast, quick, easy, and things that work for weight loss. Because smoothies are really easy to prepare and can even be prepared the night before, I'm also giving 27 different smoothie recipes. And just some examples of the smoothies, they are actually formulated specific to what we want them to do. I have a fat burning smoothie, a carb cutter smoothie, a love your heart smoothie, which actually focuses on cardiovascular health, an immunity booster, which is fantastic during flu season. Just for men's health, this actually has a lot of lycopene in it to actually help with prostate care and also prevention of erectile dysfunction. There's a catch some Z's, so for people who have some sleep issues, there's nutrient mix in this one to actually help aid in more restful sleep. A stress buster, which all of us could at one point in our life. If you have any questions or comments about anything that you've seen, please contact us at athenawellnesscenter.com. You can actually email us through that site. Again, this is the ebook that I put together with all the information about what type of breakfast and ideas, and it can actually be purchased on Amazon. And this is just another example of why I do what I do and why I love my job. So these are all my patients. All of them have lost a significant amount of weight. We have women who are young and in their 20s. We have a couple that is now in their 70s that started working with me in their 60s. We have stay-at-home mamas who were crazy busy and couldn't take a moment to take care of themselves. We have crazy busy working moms who couldn't find the time either. So this just gives you a very small example of some of my patients. And they come from every walk of life, every age, definitely men and women. And I love my job. I love getting up every day. Thanks. Please let me know again if you have any questions.